My name's Bob Johnston. I live in Vietnam in a little town called Tiwa. It's on the south central coast. My wife and I own and operate a cafe here called Bob's Cafe American. I've lived here now for almost 8 years. Recently, as a avid motorcycle enthusiast, we decided to load up our one bike, take 2 weeks off, and take a nice trip up through the central highlands of Vietnam. We started out here in Tiwa. We had to make a stop in Hoi An, Da Nang, and then we went to a city called Prao, which is inland roughly 150 kilometers from Da Nang. From there we went north. We spent 10 days actually riding out of the 13 that we were gone, and it was a very nice trip. I'm still a little tired from it. We needed about 1 extra week to actually do it right. But during the trip, with a few side trips, we probably put on close to 1,700 kilometers. I didn't keep an exact track of it, but we ended our trip up in a place called Phong Nha, which is where the big, beautiful caves are. And we stayed at a place up there for a few days called the Phong Nha homestay, or farmstay. And it was very, very nice. During the trip, we stayed at a minority village, or a tribal village, for one night. We stayed at a ranger station in the middle of a huge national forest north of a place called Lom Son, and we saw some of the most beautiful scenery that you'll find in Vietnam. And it's desolate, a lot of it. It's in the middle of nowhere. There were days that we rode for hours and never saw another motorbike. There were days that we rode for an hour or more at a time. Didn't see a village, saw a few scattered houses, very, very few people. We found out that there are few places to get gasoline, but you can find them if you really look. We were riding an older Honda Win, probably 10 years old, that I put some time and money into. It's normally one of our rental motorbikes, but we also use it for trips. It's a good runner. It's about 110 cc. It's more like a dirt bike than a motorbike. We took it because after the rebuild I realized that it was in good condition. I rigged up a luggage rack for the back of it. We came up with a tank bag to store the stuff that we needed right now, maps and glasses and things like that. And then the other side was for some tools. We threw a chain on the motorbike twice, never in town. It was 70 to 100 kilometers from the nearest house. And, well, okay, one time. The other time it was probably 20 kilometers from a house. And these are just things that happen. But we got very good fuel economy. So we were able to ride, even two of us up and some luggage, 150, 200 kilometers between tanks of fuel. It was one of those things that a lot of people want to do, as I say in the video, and very few people actually get to do. I'm not young anymore, but this was something I wanted to do. And it turned out to be a very good experience. We both enjoyed it very much, except for the one time that we went down, which wasn't that serious. It was just a set of circumstances on a small mountain road, and it was one of those times that, as it happens, or as things start to unfold, you know you're going down. The only question is, how hard? I got to the point that my wife could literally step off the back of the motorbike as I wound up on the ground underneath it. So I spent a couple of days sprained, bruised, and a little sore. But it was fun. We met a lot of very beautiful people. Most of the people were just happy, friendly. They're not the people in the cities here. These are the people out in the countryside that are very open, very welcoming, and just terrific to be around. We ate some fantastic food. Nothing exciting. This is just normal Vietnamese food on the street or in someone's home. And in every case, it was just a good, solid, good tasting, healthy meal. The only problem we did have was I didn't get to complete the whole trip because we frankly ran out of time. And we wound up putting the bike on a train to send back to here. And we took the train home. It doesn't matter. By then, I was worn out completely. So even though it was kind of a long train ride, it was worth it to get off the bike and just sit in a soft seat and ride home for 12 hours. The only mistake I made was, had we known going into this that we were going to make this DVD, I would have taken some better production tools, like maybe a tripod that I didn't carry with me. So everything for the B-roll vignettes like this are all handheld, or the camera's propped up on something. Had I actually planned this in the beginning, I would have been keeping closer track of where we were during the day and at the end of each day, things like that. But I think as it is, it's just a good riding video of what it's like in Vietnam. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people. We have more freedom here than in a country like America as far as doing things and going places. And you'll see some things on here that are very nice, a little bit unbelievable in some cases. But we had a bike that performed very well. I had a wife that turned out to be a pretty good videographer with just a little bit of coaching from me. We've got stills we're going to intersperse as a little bit of a slideshow. I'm going to do a commentary. tell you about places we've been, where we stopped, and things we did around some of the areas. Like I said, it was all fun, it was all very enjoyable, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So, for lack of a better title, we're going to call this The Long Way Up, which might change. I know I kind of stole it, but that can change. The beginning of it shows the road leaving Tiwa and some pictures of the way the bike was set up, the camera and other things, and away we go. It was fun. Enjoy it.